Good evening, everyone. The January 15th special meeting of the Parks and Recreation Commission is called to order. Would the secretary call roll for determination of a quorum?
Commissioner Fernandez.
Present.
Commissioner Hunneman.
Here.
Commissioner Holloway.
Here.
Vice Chair Gilliland is absent. Chair Parker.
Here.
Let the record reflect.
You say the pledge.
Present, with the exception of Vice Chair.
Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I'll ask Commissioner Fernandez to lead us.
Okay. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Commissioners, are there any changes to the agenda? If none, commissioners using the touchpads, please make a motion and a second to approve the agenda. Okay. Make a motion?
I know.
Let's see, we're getting there. Let's see.
Where is it?
It's on the floor. On the floor. There we go. Okay. We have a motion and a second. Please, commissioners, would you vote now?
Motion carries unanimously, 4-0.
Okay, thank you very much. The administrative update is the opportunity for the Parks and Community Services Manager, Leah Collick, to provide community updates as well as department or commission announcements on current or upcoming projects. May we please have the administrative update?
Yes, you may. Good evening, Commissioners. For our first administrative update, Recreation Supervisor Laura Frasso and Senior Recreation Coordinator Nadine Katab will provide an overview of the city's upcoming special events for January through June 2026.
Thank you. Well, good evening, everyone. So we're going to start off with Facebook, some new metrics from the past 3 months, so since October. So let's see. So starting with Facebook, our overall views is at 1.6 million, which has stayed pretty steady in comparison to the previous quarter. Our follower growth did slow down just a tiny bit, but it was still fairly steady. We gained 672 new followers. And yeah, so our summer events were a huge driver in our previous follower increase, if you guys remember. So it was slightly expected for it to kind of go down a little bit, but I still think that it's pretty steady.
That's in a quarter?
Yes.
Okay.
So since October. And then our engagement remains fairly high as well, and our link clicks from our posts has increased dramatically, which means our audiences are taking action and not just scrolling by. So any links that we have that are, for example, like visit murrietaca.gov/events, people are clicking it. Or, for example, the really active ones were our holiday home decorating contest and the Halloween home decorating contest. People were clicking for the map or to vote, and to view the winners and whatnot. So people were clicking our links, so that was good. So a big takeaway is even with the slower follower growth, Facebook is driving meaningful engagement and traffic, especially when content includes clear calls to action. And then let's see. So this is a snapshot of our highest performing posts. It's mainly surrounding events. So just content of people and just promoting our upcoming events, really. And then again, like I previously mentioned, the Halloween home decorating contest and the holiday home decorating contest got a lot of traction and people were sharing it, which was awesome. So that is kind of Facebook overall. And then moving on to Instagram. So it's kind of similar to Facebook. So engagement and our reach has been very high. Our Instagram has proven to be the platform where our new audiences are coming and continuing to find us. So our views for the past 3 months has been nearly 430,000, with 76% of those being from non-followers and then 23% being from just our followers. And then nearly half of our engagement is coming from our reels, and so the short form videos, and then any event visuals, which is indicating that these are continuing to be our top performers for this platform. And then similar to Facebook, we saw strong increases in profile visits and link taps, which means engagement is also turning into action. So people are going to our bio to click the link and visiting our website. And then, so overall, Facebook and Instagram are both favoring short form videos, so the reels, and then content highlighting real people, real events, and all community experiences.
Can I, for a quick question? We're talking about quarters here. Is this compared to the previous quarter or the previous year?
Previous quarter.
Previous quarter, okay, thanks.
Yes. So yeah, we'll just continue this strategy and then hopefully maybe implement some new reels or whatever creative ideas we can come up with. But I think our event content has been a huge driver for our platforms. And I think that's all from me. So yeah, and then this was a snapshot of our top performing posts on Instagram as well. So doing pretty good. Yeah.
So in Q1 of 26, by comparison, we should expect to see a drop just because?
A little bit.
Yeah.
I think most of our huge events are summer events. So I think gearing up for those events will help. I plan to continue to post, and we kind of have that schedule of just continuing to post, but I would say yes. And then when it comes to like spring, summer, I think we'll see a huge spikes.
Because the next quarter would be what, January, February, March.
Yeah.
There isn't too much right now, but then April, May, June will be slammed.
Yes.
So.
Sure. Thank you.
Yeah.
And I do want to give a shout out to Nadine because she is our main person at creating the social media and things like that since she's come on board. So
Great job.
yeah.
And are you the main responder to people that comment?
I think we all kind of split it up a little bit.
Share.
Okay.
Kind of depending on what the posts or comments are.
Okay.
Yeah.
How much of that do you see? I mean, is that something that's popping up every day, or where people are commenting and?
I think I would say we get a lot of engagement every day.
When I'm looking at, I'm not really familiar with Instagram, but when I go back a second,
So
when I look at this,
comments.
the next one.
So if you look at this slide, you can see the little comment icon at the bottom, 70
Yeah.
comments, 66, 12, 24.
Right. The next one, no.
This one?
This one. So when I look at 36,918, that's how many people viewed that?
Yes.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah. So our reach has been really great. And then I try to invite the main city page as a collaborator as well to, extend the reach. And then any times that, we feel like the police department, since they have an amazing reach, we'll invite them if it's applicable. So that also helps.
They do a
as well.
good job.
Yeah, they really do an amazing job. So.
Okay.
So that's all for social media, unless you guys have questions on that piece. Our next part would be upcoming special events. So for upcoming special events, we have the Torte Murrieta coming up on March 28th and 29th. And this year, we are adding a concert and the Murrieta 5K. So Saturday, at 7 a.m., the Murrieta 5K, which was the previous Lily Kelly Ministries 5K. We joined forces, we joined those two forces together, and they're gonna have their 5K that morning. And then right after the 5K is over, the sanctioned cycling event will take place on a similar but not exactly the same route, staying in downtown Murrieta, but not using, the exact same streets. And then that evening, Saturday evening, the 28th, we're gonna have a concert at Town Square Park with the band Shockwave. And then Sunday, will be the second day of the Torte Murrieta. So we're calling it Race Weekend, and it's going to be different than we've done it before, but it'll be a change, hopefully for the positive. And then April 4th, we will have our Spring Extravaganza at Town Square Park with all the kids. We do 2 and under in special needs area, and then we'll do a 3 to 10 year area. So I think it's an hour and a half of egg hunts every 15 minutes. And we have about 12,000 eggs that we give out for that. And then after that, the firefighters barbecue isn't really put on by our department, but we promote it whenever we can. So the firefighters barbecue will take place at Town Square Park and Amphitheater on April 18th. And then we will have our Memorial Day ceremony at Town Square Park on May 25th, which is a Monday. And then June 20th, we will have our 55th Father's Day car show at Cal Oak Sports Park. And then June 27th will be our 35th birthday bash at Cal Oak Sports Park. So we have a lot coming up. That's basically all we're doing right now is these events plus a little past in July and August, but we're working, January's kind of we're kind of coming off of our craziness of December, but we're doing all of our planning for the spring and summer. And if you have any questions, we're happy to answer anything regarding events for you.
Just real quick, I know it's going into the summer months. Any indication that the promoter who did the concerts the last couple of years is coming back, or is that done?
No, that Newman Hospitality Group is not coming back. However, if I may announce that we're extending our concerts in the park in July into August. So we will have 8 concerts in the park this summer. So that'll be bigger and better. It won't be exactly the same. We're not fencing the park. We're not selling tickets. We're doing it a little different than they will.
It's free.
It is free.
All right, there we go. Yeah.
It is free. And yeah, we're basically almost doubling the amount that we've done in the past because we've heard what the residents have said. They want more concerts, and we're happy to provide when we can.
And they want free.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
Laura, quick question. Will there be any improvements made to the sound system in time for this summer?
Hopefully. We are meeting with Robert from Heyday next week, actually, to go over bands and things like that. And that is one of the things that we're going to talk to him about, what other options we have. And, hopefully.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. No, last year we decided that from previous years, we just don't get a big turnout for the movies, but we get a huge turnout for the concerts. In 2024, the concerts, we would get maybe 1,000 people, 1,500 people, and we would get 40 people at a movie. And then last year, we were getting between 3,000 and 3,500 people at the concerts. So the attendance really jumped, and we've gotten so many responses saying we want more concerts, you may be the first person that's asked about the movies. No one has asked for the movies. So, money-wise, we would rather put our budget into what people are asking for, which really is the concerts.
I think there's an opportunity too with the whole food truck concept for the additional concerts in the park to do like a picnic in the park concept. If a couple of the food truck companies want to band together on that idea, or do something where a family could come and for $29.99 feed a family of 4 It's an additional encouragement, and I think at the right price point and that type of thing, it would be. I think it would do well.
We have talked, we have an ad hoc subcommittee with council regarding Town Square Park and the policy and all of that good stuff. And in that, Council Member Warren has mentioned that she would love the Murrieta Hot Springs Wonderless Food Truck Fest, if maybe some of them could come over on Saturdays during our concerts. I know they're in Hemet on Saturdays, so I don't know if that would work, and I haven't had time yet to reach out to them, but it is on my list that we would like to see if that's something that we could do, or maybe if not with them, with someone else. So we do see the need for more food options at the concerts.
A lot of food trucks out
there. Yeah.
If you're ready for admin update number 2. Commissioners, thank you again. For second admin update, Recreation Coordinator Joe Baker will share an overview of the Murrieta Senior Center's upcoming events and special programming planned for January through June 2026.
I did, if I can. Sorry, it came to mind late. Santa stops, successful.
Yes, I think they were successful. Nadine was really the point contact for Santa Stops, so I'll let her answer. But yeah, I do believe they were successful.
Yeah, so we actually have a presentation on Tuesday's council meeting in regards to Santa Stops, and it'll be like a nice little recap and recognizing the volunteers. But we had, I want to say it was over 8,000 attendees overall across the 7 nights. We had 119 total stops. And it was roughly, so each night had 3 routes, except for the first night and then the final night that had 2 stops. We had our Sensory Santa at the youth center as well, which had a really great turnout of, I want to say it was like 415 people that came through.
That's right.
Which was awesome. But yeah, overall it was pretty successful.
That's
We were
great.
able to give a lot of toys and food out to
Yes.
different
Yeah.
organizations.
Good.
which is a
Yes.
huge
Did
part
you
of it.
ride herd on the Santa Stops?
Did I?
Was that you that kind of ran that thing? The Santa Stops?
Yes, with
Wow.
yes, with help from our volunteers and
Yeah.
then Brian as well and Councilmember Ron Holiday.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
That's great.
Yeah,
Super.
Thanks very much.
of course.
Thank you very much, ladies.
Good evening, Commissioners. How's everyone doing? So we're just going to go ahead and we're going to go over some of our upcoming events at the Senior Center for the next couple of months here. And then I dropped off a packet at everyone's table up there. So after we go through that, I'll just briefly go through our packet. If you guys have any questions, I feel more than happy to answer those for you. All right, so going into February, we have our big game day, which me as a football fan is a very exciting event. So we have the seniors wear their jerseys. We usually do like a guess the Super Bowl winner. We do that for about a week before, where the seniors can come and pretty much get a football, write their name on it, and then there's 2 different sides, and we kind of see how the center's divided as far as who likes what team. So if they wear a jersey or some type of sports, or if I should say football specifically, then they get an extra raffle ticket for the prizes at the end. Additionally, in February, we have our Valentine's card making craft, which is always really fun every year. So it's a free craft we put on for them. We get hot chocolate and bring snacks out. We have a cabinet full of all kinds of different crafts. And so they come out, make cards for their family, for other seniors. And that's really fun. This year, we're actually also going to be doing candygrams. So probably a little, maybe the sweethearts, or we might do like heart suckers, and they'll be able to purchase those and give them to their friends at the Senior Center. All right, and then coming up in March, a Senior Center Classic. They all love the St. Patrick's Day. I can say this one they dress up a lot for. It's always really fun. So we do we'll do our refreshments. We'll do our games. They're always fun there too. And then of course we have our raffle prizes. And if you wear green, you get an extra raffle ticket. If you don't, you get pinched. No, I'm just kidding. All right, and then for April, we do our Easter-themed craft. So we usually, last year we had like a flower bucket. It was all fake flowers, different, Easter bunny heads and eggs, and they could decorate those. I think we had about 30 people participate in that last year, so we had a really good turnout. And something we started last year, which was actually really fun, was our senior center Easter egg hunt, where we hide about 40 eggs around the senior center, and we buy different chocolate bars or chocolate bunnies, and they have to kind of search around and find them. So that was really fun. I think last year we actually made it was a scavenger hunt as well, so you kind of had hints on where to find the eggs, so it was a really fun event. And then to say more of a classic than St. Patrick's Day, I believe Jerry Copeland, our supervisor, I believe she started this event when she started at the senior center like about 19 years ago, and it's been going strong ever since. The Mother's Day Tea Party, we generally have the Rotary Club come in and assist. They'll serve the seniors. We do usually tea, so they all bring their teacups and they're able to talk about their teacup and why it's important to them. We always have giveaways. Usually it's like a tea steamer or just different little things like that we like to give to them. And then our staff member Lynn, who's a professional photographer, she does photo. We have a backdrop. She does photos for them, which they're all dressed up so nice with their hats and their outfits. It's really great. So personally, I like this event a lot because, in my opinion, we see a lot of seniors that have over the years not really come out. So we see a lot of those older faces that we might not have seen since the last Mother's Day Tea Party. So it's really fun, and people get to kind of reconnect with people they may not have seen. All right, and then going into June, one of my favorites is the Father's Day celebration. We always barbecue. Yes, it's hot out there barbecuing, but it's worth it for our senior gentlemen. So we do raffle prizes for the fathers only. I don't know if you guys know this, but senior centers don't tend to get as many men. It's usually more women, so we try to really highlight them on this day. And then, of course, we have different fun games. We do cornhole. We have axe throwing. So different thing like that gentlemen enjoy. And then sorry?
Mm-hmm. What's the turnout generally for the Father's Day? You said there aren't many men engaged.
I want to say last year we had about 25 gentlemen there, which was a good turnout considering. I would, if I had to guess off the top of my head, I'd say it's usually 80% women and maybe 75-25, but 80-20. But gentlemen tend to hang out in the billiards room. It's just one of those things. They hang out in the billiards room. They have lunch. So it's nice to be able to do something. I mean, we do the Mother's Day Tea Party, but it's nice to have something to kind of, you have to kind of go and lasso them and round them up and bring them into the room and tell them, all right, guys, stop playing pool for an hour. We're gonna have a party. You're gonna enjoy some food and some prizes. But we get a pretty good turnout with them too. So.
How many for Mother's Day?
Mother's Day. So we actually only let the women come to Mother's Day.
Right.
For the Mother's Day Tea Party. But we get, I would say.
We're used to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I know. The guys are like, whatever, I'll be here watching TV, go have your party. So we generally get about, that one will probably cap off between 70 and 75, just because that's about what our capacity for our room is right now at this point. So I would anticipate easily 75 people will be at the Mother's Day Tea Party. And then, so I believe this is the last one, July, we do our 4th of July celebration. We've been lucky enough to have a sponsor, Kona Ice. He comes and he brings his truck and he donates the ice to the seniors. Serves about like 70-75 people. So that's really fun. What we did last year, and we're looking to do it again, is different 4th of July trivia, which a lot of the seniors enjoyed. And then we're going to do raffle prizes. I think actually for this one, I believe we're working on actually doing a spin wheel too. So we've kind of been looking at that, debating on purchasing something like that to kind of, so we're not always just doing raffle prizes every time, but give everyone an opportunity to win a prize using the spin wheel, different Murrieta memorabilia and things like that. So you have any questions about the Senior Center events? No?
Joseph, you've hit the highlights, but as I went through the packages in preparation for today, and Leah hears me say this, I probably say it all the time, but because you've got everyday stuff. I mean, you're serving meals every day. You've got a lot going on there, and the same with this whole staff. The stuff that we looked at in preparation for this meeting, I shook my head and told Cindy, I said, it's just once again amazing that we pull this off. They all need a pay raise, Brian.
I appreciate that, Paul.
Okay.
I'll refer you now to say that
Yeah, that's all right. I knew you would love that. Okay. But anyway, thank you very much, Joseph.
I appreciate that. Appreciate that very much.
I just had one thing with the big game party coming up, and it pains me a little as a lifelong New England Patriots fan, and also as a father who had two boys who played football at Murrieta Valley High. But we do have Khalil Shakir, a Vista Murrieta graduate who is playing for the Buffalo Bills and had 12 catches last week and helped lead them to victory, and they're going against Denver. So I hope with the big game party that Khalil will be in town, because he won't be at the game because my Patriots will be. Maybe he'll come to the party.
He'll be out there with Drake May.
Oh, very proud. Very proud. I need to highlight our young people as they go out in whatever field they choose, and he's doing an exceptional job for the Bills.
And the Patriots actually had a quarterback this year.
They did. Yeah. I don't think they used to have one. I don't know what happened to him.
All right, so I'm just going to briefly go through our packet. If you guys have questions, let me know. Just like I said, some of the day-to-day stuff that we do there. So our very first page is our calendar, so I won't really go into depth on that, but we just have that so our seniors have an idea of what's going on monthly. And then we do one of our staff does a senior moments page. One of the things I really like about this is our senior spotlight. So she goes and she does a little interview with one of our seniors, and we'll take a picture and then we'll put them there. It's kind of nice. We try to do it with some of the newer seniors or maybe some of the quieter ones just to kind of break the ice. So one of the seniors, hey, I read about you. You went to, you were in New York for years and I lived there. So it's a really cool thing that we do. I'm really glad that we're doing that. And then the next page, we just have some of our drop-in classes. So these ones are all just free classes that are put on. Generally speaking, there's like a senior leader, somebody who's a senior that's there that kind of hosts the class for us. But there's no fee with those, so those are all real good. We have some tournaments and different things like that. And then, of course, we have our monthly classes. So we have our, Tai Chi, yoga, and then we try to do as many chair classes as we can for some of our participants that aren't as ambulatory. So we have chair exercise, chair yoga, chair Tai Chi. We actually just started chair volleyball a couple months ago, and that's a really big hit, too. So that's fun. And then we have some more of our higher impact classes are like our dance, stretch, and restore, what's kind of like a yoga Zumba mix. And then we have our yoga. So some of those seniors that are a little more agile and want a little more of a heavy workout can take those classes. And then, of course, we have our lunch program where we serve seniors that are 60 plus. With that one, it's served through Sodexo, the County of Riverside. And right now, I believe we're serving between 70 and 75 seniors a day. So I know just a couple of years ago, it was about 40 to 45. So we've seen quite an increase. So that's really good to see as well. Next page, just the lunch menu, lets them know.
Joseph,
yes.
the daily meals, so you're seeing about 75 a day, but if you looked at the total population over a month, how many individuals come? What's that look like, or do you look at that?
We don't really break it down like that. It's more meal count. But I'll say that we probably have, I want to say I have about 40 to 45 seniors that come daily. They're our regulars. They're the ones that come consistently, and they're almost every day, regardless of what you see on the lunch menu. And then I'd say the other 30 to 35 is just kind of people that are maybe coming once a week, or maybe come in when, the lunch is something that they like, or they only eat chicken, or they don't eat pork. So, but I'd say about 40 to 45 is what we have that are like our everydayers. And then moving on, so we do have some outside organizations that kind of utilize our facility. So they're their own groups, but they kind of work in tandem with us, and that's our Gem of the Valley Art Association. We have a Parkinson's support group for caregivers, and then XYZ is like a senior social group. They do luncheons, and they have performances for the seniors. So they have, sometimes it's different groups, singers, choirs, things like that. And then lastly, we started a grief support group about 4 or 5 months ago, I think it was. We started that one, and started first meeting. We had nobody showed up, kept advertising it, put it on Facebook. I think now we're at about 4 consistently, and we're actually in 2026, we're going to be expanding the class. We had sessions that were an hour and a half, and our counselor thought that's a little long, so we broke it up into 2 sessions. So it's the second and fourth Thursday of the month. They do 1-hour sessions, and people can just come and they can share and kind of grieve together. So her name is Dana McAllister. She's actually through Mission Healthcare. She's a bereavement counselor. And then, so touch on our fitness room. So we do have our fitness room that's open Monday through Friday from 8 to 3:30. So that's really a good thing for seniors that are trying to stay in shape. I'll say I have some seniors that they come just for this, so that's nice to see every 2 days, 3 days a week. I see them 8 in the morning, they come walking in, they do their workout. I'd like to see that they're staying in shape and taking care of themselves. We see between 75 to about 80 to 85 people a week in the gym that we get signed in, so it's a pretty good number. And then lastly, I'll touch on our Feeding America. So we do a mobile food pantry. This actually is not just for seniors. This is actually for all residents. Riverside County, they just need to bring an ID. Feeding America will bring, they do food boxes. Sometimes they have produce. Sometimes they have cheese. Sometimes they have frozen things, just kind of based on what their donations they get in. But that's a really good program. We serve over 300 once a month. So they usually run out of boxes. So I think they bring about between 300 to 315 boxes to our site, and we run out every time. So really great that people are getting the groceries they need. But that is everything in my packet. Do you commissioners have any questions for me?
So 300 boxes a month.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
How long is that?
I think last month was 304 we did. So, and we're usually, I'm kind of competitive. So they sent us a numbers out. And we're usually number one. We cast out the most boxes in our area anyway. So I'm very proud of that.
That's great. How long have we been doing that?
Feeding America, it's, I mean, I've been here now over 3 years, and it's been going since I've been here. So I think that I want to say it started around COVID. I'd have to verify that, but I want to say around COVID time is when it began.
That's great. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you guys for your time.
Thanks for what you do.
Thank you. Appreciate you guys.
All right. Good evening once again, Commissioners. For this third admin update, I will be presenting a summary of the city's 2025 year-end analytics, highlighting participation trends across recreation programs, senior services, aquatics, and community events. This overview reflects another year of strong engagement, steady growth in key program areas, and continued recovery and expansion following post-COVID operational shifts. Our purpose is to provide a brief year-end snapshot, again, of our 2025 participation usage trends across recreation, aquatics, events, and facility reservations. And that purple spreadsheet right there is what we will be discussing this evening. Overall, 2025 showed strong community engagement. Most programs either held steady or increased compared to 2024. Senior and youth services continue to be our highest demand areas, and aquatics saw major growth with reliable access to a functional pool through our partnership with Vista Murrieta High School. Recreation classes stayed strong at just over 6,000 registrations. Adult alternative recreation remained steady. Senior center check-ins and fitness room use were consistently high, and youth center visits continued their upward trend with several months over 2,000 check-ins. For aquatics, this was our second full year at Vista Murrieta High School. Public swim drew more than 1,500 visits over the summer. Swim lessons saw significant growth, especially in July and the latter part of September and October, into October. Lap swim remained steady throughout the season. For events and facility use, shelter reservations and community center bookings remain consistent with prior years. City events continue to draw large crowds, often between 6,000 and 15,000 attendees for the larger events. Sports field and court reservations had their first full year of tracking, totaling more than 20,000 uses. Across the board, We're seeing stable or rising participation compared to pre-COVID years. Senior and youth programs continue to grow, and aquatics has rebounded strongly now that we have, again, a functioning pool through our partnership with the Murrieta Valley Unified School District. So key takeaways, in summer 2025 was a strong year for community engagement. Programs are stable or growing, aquatics is thriving, and events and facility rentals remain a major touch point for residents. Any questions?
Do we do anything to coordinate with what the merchants do in Old Town on Thursday nights, or a couple Thursday nights a month?
So
As far as, go ahead, yeah.
You're speaking of the Murrieta Market Nights?
Yeah.
So we work closely with them in terms of the road closures and particular needs, making sure like the irrigation in the planters is turned off, and making sure that the trash cans are fully empty prior to the event, things like that. But it is operated by a nonprofit organization that oversees their vendor registration and their layouts and so on.
Any other questions?
On that subject, do we ever have a presence down there, like a booth or anything?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
So
I've not
there
been to it,
is a
'cause,
general information booth.
Okay.
And there are representatives from the city, mostly library and CSD that go out there. However, on the nights that we can't make it, we try and provide information packets to their general information booth so that people can pick up information about the city as well.
Okay, great.
And the same thing kind of with that car show that they do?
The Drifters?
Yeah. Well, I don't know do they just do one car show a year down there?
So the Downtown Association handles the market nights, and then the Drifters handles the car show.
Okay.
Two separate nonprofit organizations benefiting two different nonprofit groups.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
At this time, we will.
Oh, one more admin.
Oh, you've got another one? Okay, go
We're
ahead.
gonna go through that spreadsheet, right? Did you say the purple spreadsheet we were gonna go through?
We did. That was section by section. I
Okay.
hit the highlights of it.
Oh, okay, I thought you
And
were
then
gonna
the
go more in depth with.
Oh, no.
Because the youth sports use from 2024 to 2025.
2024 was only half a year.
Oh, okay, because I was like,
Yes.
that was a huge increase.
2025 was a full year
full year.
of tracking.
Okay, so it was 8,000 to over 20,000. That's huge.
Yes.
And I can imagine it's only going to get more. We're going to have more registrations and more registrants as
We
the city
just had
keeps
the
growing.
field out, yeah, you'll probably hear more about that in March. We just had the field allocation meeting this evening. And in March, Victor will provide you with an update of the different leagues, what fields are reserving, and how, what their increases are.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so just to let you know, if you haven't guessed, there's a theme tonight, okay? So for this next admin update, I will be presenting on trends in Parks and Recreation, in the Parks and Recreation field. So Parks and Recreation is evolving quickly, and today's trends report highlights the major shifts shaping how communities participate, gather, and recreate. This overview will touch on emerging programming interests, changes in event design, evolving aquatic needs, and the growing role of technology and data, framing how these trends direct us in our long-term planning and strategic priorities. So the purpose of this report highlights national trends, what's gaining traction, how these insights support our master plan priorities. For the big picture, we're seeing three major shifts. First, climate resilience is becoming central to planning, from shade and cooling strategies to event timing. Second, technology is core infrastructure. Dashboards, AI tools, and real-time data are helping agencies make plans actionable. And third, programming is becoming more customer-centric, with agencies pivoting quickly based on participation data and community feedback. So what's after pickleball? What's the next big thing? Professionals across the field are asking what comes next. We're seeing strong growth in social fitness and low barrier activities, especially with a large aging population of boomers. More intergenerational programs, great-grandparents, grandparents, parents and siblings all participating and recreating in a single type of program. And offerings tied to wellness and mental health. Pop-up and niche programs are helping agencies stay flexible, and equity-focused design is becoming standard practice. For events, yes?
Social fitness.
Social fitness is coming together to do outside yoga in a group setting. That's an example. Or goat yoga, I'm sure you've heard that trend. Goat yoga, things like that. For events, communities are gravitating toward two kind of polar opposites, toward smaller, hyper-local events that reduce traffic and impacts and meet residents where they are, so bringing events to them. And then larger events are becoming more experience-driven with interactive elements. Themed series continue to build strong followings, and climate-aware scheduling is increasingly important. So Nadine and Laura commented on how we're merging two larger events. That's one of the focus of the trend, is putting together larger events with mixed elements together for the community. Aquatics, agencies are doubling down on swim lessons and water safety. Pools are becoming programmed more flexibly to serve multiple audiences in a single day. Inclusion and adaptive aquatics are now expected, and splash pads and spray features are gaining popularity as lower staffing alternatives. Technology. AI and automation are helping staff communicate more efficiently and reach diverse communities. Dashboards and supporting real-time tracking of priorities and digital registration tools are now baseline expectations for residents. Think QR codes, think lots of surveys, think mobile access for everything. Everything at your fingertips on one device. These trends help us anticipate future needs, align with our master plan strategies, and ensure our programs and facilities remain relevant, accessible, and responsive to the community. So that's kind of where we're heading with trends. I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have on this.
I do have one question. We'll probably go over the tiers, but I'm going to assume that tier 1 is top priority, tier 2, and then tier 3.
That's discussion item number 1. That's next.
Okay. So I just was curious because it says that people want splash pads and things like that, and the splash pad is tier 2, or is it tier 3?
Well, I'll get into what's going on with that in
okay,
the discussion.
Perfect. Thank you.
We're good?
We're good.
Okay.
We're ready to move on to public comment.
Yes.
At this time, we will take public comments. Any person may address the Parks and Recreation Commission on any subject pertaining to city business, which does not relate to any item listed on the agenda. Normally, no action may be considered or taken by the Parks and Recreation Commission on any matter not listed on the agenda. Speakers are limited to 3 minutes. Madam Secretary, do we have any non-agenda public comments?
Thank you, Chair. There are no non-agenda public comments.
Okay, thank you very much. Moving on to the consent calendar. All matters listed on the consent calendar are to be considered routine by the governing bodies and will be enacted by one motion in the form listed. There will be no discussion of these items unless, before the governing body votes on the motion to adopt, specific items are removed from the consent calendar for separate motions. So the items on the consent calendar are the minutes, do we need to approve the minutes? Oh, we're going to do all three at once?
All three at once.
Okay, recreation activities and event reports, parks and projects and maintenance report. Are there any items the commission would like to pull from the consent calendar? Commissioners?
I have an issue with an item in item 3. It's just a correction, typo, something's in the wrong place, but it could have some longer-term applications. So I don't know if just to change one little thing, I need to pull the item or ask that the item be pulled.
What's the correction?
In item number 3, the City of Murrieta Park Ranger Detail month of October.
I'm getting there, hold on.
Just proves that I read these things. Okay.
A little scary.
Okay, I'm there.
If you look at under the category arrests, the second one over, it indicates that we had 243 arrests in the month of October.
I don't see that. Mine says, oh, I see what you're saying. I think that is a
category
typo.
should be warnings verbal.
I think that's what it was.
It's supposed to be, and that makes
Yes.
more sense. I looked at that and saw 243 arrests, and I'm just thinking if someone was to look at our records and go, why, they have a lot of crime in October in the parks.
We will make that change.
I think that just needs to be changed.
Yeah.
Other than that, I'm fine with it.
I think it was a copy and paste thing.
Okay. All right.
Yes, we will definitely update that for the record
Okay.
on that report.
Terrific. Thank you.
Thank you, John. I missed that.
243 arrests kind of stuck out.
Commissioners, using the touchpad, please make a motion and a second to adopt the consent calendar. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Commissioners, please vote.
Motion carries unanimously, 4-0.
Okay, thank you, Commissioners. Now we move on to the strategic plan overview and master plan prioritization. Discuss and our recommended actions are to discuss and provide input on the strategic plan. May we have the staff report, please?
Yes, you may. So once again, you may have guessed that we have a bit of a theme this evening. So with the analytics and the numbers, that was kind of a snapshot of where we were last year. The trends is kind of where the future is heading. And now we're going to be discussing what are the possible projects, programs that can align with our past analytics, the future of the trends, and the key strategies in the master plan, the master plans, Parks and Recreation Master Plan and the Trails Master Plan that were approved by Council last June. Putting all of this kind of in a blender and then document it in our strategic plan, which is will provide a prioritization of the tasks, assignments, and projects moving forward. It'll be our roadmap for the next few years. So with that, this strategic plan overview and master plan prioritization item provides a high-level look at how Murrieta's newly adopted Parks and Recreation Master Plan and Trails Master Plan are guiding long-term decision-making for the Community Services Department. With both plans formally adopted in 2025, this update connects emerging parks and recreation trends to the priorities identified through extensive community engagement, system-wide assessments, and facility standards. The report highlights how national and regional trends, such as increased demand for trail-based recreation, expanded aquatics access, experience-driven community events, Inclusive programming and technology-supported user experiences align with the strategies embedded in both master plans. It also outlines where resident feedback, usage data, and industry direction intersect, helping the Commission understand which priorities may warrant early focus, phased investment, or partnership development. Now that you've heard about the emerging trends shaping the field, had a glimpse of where our participation numbers stand, and reviewed the key strategies in both master plan documents, we're going to shift our focus toward developing recommendations for City Council as they prepare for their goals workshop on February 26th. This discussion is an opportunity for the Commission to help identify which priorities should rise to the top as we move into implementation. The purpose of this item is to connect emerging trends with adopted master plans and begin shaping the priorities we're going to carry forward for into implementation. This first slide highlights what we've completed so far, and I gave each of you a handout so that we wouldn't have to go back and forth between the slides, so you had a reference point. So this is what's been done to date, and I know some of the projects, such as Town Square Park, have been done for a number of years, but even though the project has been completed construction-wise, there is often after post-construction obligations that we need to fulfill. All of those obligations for every single one of these projects is now complete. Recently, the City of Murrieta broke apart a little bit the Community Services District and took the Parks Maintenance element into the Municipal Services Department, a brand new department within the City of Murrieta. Municipal Services Department handles fleet, CIP, capital project construction, roads maintenance, parks and common area maintenance, and facility maintenance. So all of that has been moved over that. There were 2 items that were on for projects that were under community services that are now moving to municipal services, and these are those 2 items right there. This slide explains or details currently what is active and under construction and the estimated status of where it is as of to date and when it might possibly be completed. This is the core of our discussion this evening. This is what's on the table that Council in their previous workshops have decided is important for Murrieta to move forward with. Many of them have already been identified with a project number. Many of them have been provided with a tier designation, 1, 2, or 3. Tier 1 means that it's funded and it's basically ready to go. Tier 2 may be that it has partial funding, that we need some other resources to make it move from Tier 2 to Tier 1. Tier 3 is basically concepts of a plan. We have an idea of possibly where we might get funding. We might need to do a grant or something like that. So those are the 3 designations that Council has provided for these particular projects that are on the table. So all of these pieces discussed tonight, the data, the trends, the key strategies, and the Council identified projects are reorganized or will be reorganized into the department's strategic plan that serves as a roadmap moving forward. It will be reviewed and updated annually. And then when all of this is laid out, what's been completed, what's underway, what's shifting to municipal services, and what's still on the table, that is our moment to talk about what rises to the top as we prepare recommendations for council's goal workshop. So with that, I'm going to open it up to discussion for the commission, and I will take your recommendations, compile them, and we will provide those to City Council prior to the goals workshop on February 26th.
John?
I would open it up with a discussion of Pioneer Park Phase 2. I see it's a Tier 3. The city's owned that land for 30-something years now. Citizens demanded that the city buy that land. It was going to be developed into houses. And citizens got enough money, enough signatures to get it that the city paid for the land. And it's because somebody asked me the other day about the old schoolhouse over there and what it was. And I told them, and I also told them kind of the problem with that particular parcel. There's no sewage over there, there's no water, and all the other things. It's very expensive. It's on the books. It's been on the books for 30 years, and it's probably going to be on the books for another 30 without seeing it. I kind of a commitment was made, and I was on the Historic Preservation Commission back then, and we used to hear from a lot of people who had a lot of ideas for that. They're going to move houses over there and build Old Town Murrieta and do that whole thing. And of course, that wasn't going to happen. But or a museum over there, take the little museum and somehow renovate the schoolhouse, and that's not going to happen either. But I don't know what the thoughts are if we just, 30 years from now, my grandson will be here asking the same question. So,
well, when you look at this project, remember too, that's the end goal, is to have that property built out as a park. But there's lots of little steps that you can recommend to council to make inroads. So you're correct that there is no infrastructure there. So maybe the first step is assigning some funding to hire a consultant to design what the infrastructure might look like, the sewer, the water connection, and so on. That's the first step. And then as the discussion of the projects happen annually, you can look at what the next step might be and just break it down.
Right. There are houses right across the street from there. Are they all on wells and cesspools, or are they hooked up to the city somehow, or is there?
I don't know that question. I'm sorry.
I want to give Brian something to do tonight. So, that's a neighborhood. There are houses right there. And,
so there was an effort, actually, when I first got here back in 2008, to utilize CDBG funding and a couple other sources of funding from, I believe it was Western Water District, to hook up a lot of those homes, because primarily prior to 2008, every single one of those homes that are on less than an acre were well and septic. And so it's much more efficient for homes, especially of that lot size, to be hooked up to municipal services or Western Water. There was an extensive outreach done to hook everyone up, and it did not go that well. No pun intended.
Well, there were a lot of problems with that particular water district down there. That was a little
correct. Plus, you have hookup fees, and there's a whole host of reasons why. And fact of the matter is, when you're pulling water out of the ground and you're only paying electric to pull it out of the ground, and meanwhile they want you to hook up for tens of thousands of dollars and pay a monthly bill, there's reasons why people would still want to be independent. But to date, the water system down there is underutilized. So much so that there is no water line that runs down Calmia, which would be needed to serve this Pioneer Park.
Do the people on the other side of Calmia down by the cemetery, how is their water sewer? Is that, you say there's no water line down there, but
No, I said Calmia. So
Okay,
on Ivy, there is.
Ivy there
Yeah,
is.
because
Okay,
you
all right.
have Olive Hill Ranch that
Right.
is up there, and they are on.
but Calmia and
Correct.
down that way. Okay.
Right, the downtown area.
Right.
And remember, there's one kind of area of the city that does not belong in an LLD, that did not vote themselves into an LLD, and that's primarily how you get a lot of funding for parks and things of that nature, and that's the downtown area. So the funding is incredibly limited there. It's a challenge to get funding. That being said, we have, I'll call it a 7-8 acre parcel, Pioneer Park. Definitely needs to have a master plan put on it. It just comes down to the priority. Do we fix the pool first? Do we have a master plan for Cal Oaks? Pioneer Park is it's going to be a viable park in the future. It just comes down to, is it going to be next year? No. Is it going to be in 10 years? I hope so.
John, what is your memory of what the initial vision for that piece of property was?
There were several. There were a lot of ideas kicked around.
We actually have I'll call it a drawing. I don't even want to call it a plan, but we do have a drawing that was done years ago with the downtown, HDMA, where the proposal was to move the Victorian homes in Murrieta that we could move into a museum in one area. The Boys and Girls Club, we're going to build a clubhouse down there. There was going to be a replica train track for the Fountain House, and it was going to have that pioneer aspect to it.
And Arlene Garrison walked around with a model of what her museum wanted to look like.
She let us know.
And showed it to everybody who ever went to
Yes.
the machine shop.
Yes. So, at this time, it's probably better off to start fresh and see what we can really do. And by that, it's hiring a consultant to do a master plan for the area. And you got to remember, there's still, I think there's 2 homes on that. I don't want to call it on that parcel because they're not on that parcel, but they are on 3rd Street. I think that's 3rd Street. There's a second Street.
I think it's Second Street.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, we'd have to do a lot of outreach there if we start considering sports fields, a pump track. I know our previous city manager's big push was put the pump track over there in Pioneer Park.
Yeah, it's a nice flat piece of land.
And there's no irrigation.
Well, you would need the water. So that parcel is not even annexed, not only into Western, that is not annexed into Metropolitan Water District. There's 2 whole separate permitting processes we'll need to go through, and those permits alone, before we even break ground, just to get permission to bring water in there, will probably run us, I'd say, over $100,000 at this point.
Probably each.
Yeah.
Is that something there could be possible federal funding?
The problem with federal funding and grants is Murrieta is not a disenfranchised community. We're not a disadvantaged community. That makes it difficult. Now, parts of downtown Murrieta actually are within that scope, and that helps. But when we get put up against your Los Angeles and some of these other areas that may have, lower per capita incomes, a lot of times we don't win those awards because of that.
Okay.
So, but can we? Yes. I mean, we regularly meet with a grant consultant to see if there are areas and things that we can do.
Right. Well, it's like you said, maybe small grants, do it incrementally.
Yeah.
And, do what can be done.
Yeah, no, we have actively discussed with Brian Crawford and the municipal services. Let's get going on the permitting process, because you can't do anything without water.
Right.
So let's start the permitting process. Let's figure out how much it's going to cost us to construct a water line that's capable of providing that service there. Because if we just put a BMX pump track but not many other things, then do we need a restroom? If you need a restroom, now you're talking an additional level of service. But we need to figure out those costs for the water line and then bring in a consultant to master plan.
Okay.
So John, is that something that you think we should make a recommendation to the council to start that first step?
Well, I think we'd be spinning our wheels if we did it.
Okay.
Honestly.
30 years.
I think it's just not, if we're going to prioritize a couple of things that and Brian brought up the pool, which is probably next, but I think it's a tier 3 unfunded, so it's probably going to be that way for a while.
Can I ask, around the Cal Oaks Sports Park, near where the skate park is, there is this softball field to the left, and then there's a baseball field to the right. And then there's a big open grass space.
Mm-hmm.
What is that designated for? Just open space?
So the original design for California Oaks Sports Park only included ball fields 1 and 2, the 2 that have the lights. That was a soccer field at one point. It's now, it is regularly used for soccer, but it's not a full-size field per se, so it is used as practice.
Because I always wonder if that might be a good space to put something like a pump track. Since the skate park's right there, you already have the restroom right there.
Yeah. Remember, we're very limited on parking as it is. We added, girls softball added fields 4 and 5, and the city added fields 3. So now there's 5 fields there, when originally there was 2, and a skate park, which wasn't part of the original design. And when the pool comes back into play, the parking is going to be increased. So the more amenities you put into a facility, you have to look at the ramifications and the impact of that on the ancillary support facilities.
Okay.
It would likely need a bigger restroom. It would likely, the pump track might need preferably lights. What's the distance of a pump track to the homes? There's probably some minimum distance requirement. All of that would need to be looked into.
Okay, because the one that's in Lake Elsinore is like right across the street from homes, and right next to the skate park, and the restroom, in fact, is probably like a quarter mile away from
I've used it, yes.
from the pump track. So, okay, that I just thought, it looks like a big empty space that's usually only used during like the birthday bash or the Father's Day car show, and most of the kids typically ride their bikes everywhere. I'm just, I think they might ride there. They might not need to be driven there. So it just seems like it's right there, same kind of sports. Might be a good idea.
The thing is, we've got the land. You look at other parks. There's, I'm going to call it open space, but there's a lot of our parks that have a pretty massive amount of land. So it's a question of budgeting it, and then the ancillary services like parking, because I can think of some parks that really don't have much parking, but have the land. Yeah.
Like Valley Vista.
Yeah.
Valley Vista is a huge park. There's no restroom there, just a water fountain. But yeah, and no parking.
Remember too, also with climate resiliency, if you're removing turf, which is a decreaser of temperature, and you're adding asphalt, which is an increase in temperatures, you're going to have to mitigate that somewhere. So if you put a pump track in and it's asphalt, you're going to have to mitigate for that temperature increase somewhere else. Those are all requirements now.
Does that depend on the type of turf you're using though? Because a lot of turf is like rubber based, so it's actually very hot when the sun's out.
Well, the turf in there right now is ornamental turf. It's sports turf.
Right.
It's real.
Well, I'm just saying it's hot. Like what the boys constantly complain that their feet are on fire. So,
but it's still an absorber of heat, whereas asphalt is a reflector of heat.
Okay, gotcha.
But you're not talking real grass.
No, I'm not talking about real grass.
She's talking real grass. That area is real grass.
Yeah, if you remove the grass and put asphalt, you have to mitigate for that elsewhere.
Yep.
Got it.
Leah said something that, she said when the pool comes back.
That's funny.
Yeah, I know. I'm just curious going forward. What the thinking on does the pool come back? I'd like to see it, but that pool's not coming back. It doesn't meet any ADA requirements, and there's probably a lot of work. And I've spent some time on that, but the aquatics thing seems to be doing fairly well at Vista. Perhaps, and we talked splash pads and those type of things. might be a better way to go, just because obviously they're less expensive. You don't need lifeguards, you don't need the whole thing. I mean, I'm a big advocate of having a community pool, even though I think I've been in it twice when it was open. But is it even feasible?
Well, what moved the pool? Because the last time kind of it came into my thought was council was not really prioritizing it. It was kind of off. But now it's become a tier 2, which you said means that it's
There's some possible funding having been allocated to it, not the full extent, and that there are concepts of a plan. And it's in need of additional resources and additional funding.
But what's the funding for? What's the end game, or do we have one?
So we City Council does have an end game, and that is a reconstructed pool, complete tear down with a reconstructed pool. Now, the cost on that is going to be somewhere between $10 and $20 million, and there's just a few other priority projects that are likely in front of that right now. And we're talking citywide. So you're talking Fire Station number 6, you're talking a Public Safety Training Center, and a few projects of that caliber. It is a priority of the City Councils to reconstruct the pool, and we've started having conversation of is the pool in the right spot? Could it be better in that open space that we were talking about if another parking lot could be put in there as well? So it's more along the lines of, okay, instead of just kind of recreating what was there, which wasn't really sufficient for the current population of Murrieta, let's take the entire Cal Oaks Sports Park and rethink it. Let's figure out if it was a complete blank slate, what could go where and what could we fit in? Now, I don't want to scare anyone if anyone's watching from softball. We're not tearing out any fields anytime soon, and we would certainly do this with Murrieta Softball League. But the fact of the matter is, I think things could move a little bit at Cal Oaks and be a lot more efficient.
Be gentle, I live there.
I know. And it is just like the library right across the street. Right now it looks ugly. And in about 8 months, it's going to look beautiful.
What's the plan with as far as timing with the skate park fencing? Leah, you and I talked about it last year when I suggested that it was a rusting hulk.
Excellent question. I'm glad you brought that up. So California Oaks Sports Park has a number of different capital improvement plans out there. So what we want to do is take all the bits and pieces of what's left of the projects out there and put them all in just one project. So the balance of for example, the California Oaks Sports Park tennis court lighting installation, what's left on that is resurfacing the court and getting some windscreens. So the balance of that funding is going to come out. The balance of the renovation project that's been on the books for years, which all that has left on it is the pathway lighting, the skate park fencing, the skate park lighting. Take all of those bits and pieces from all of those different projects, take the balances of those projects and put them into one. So there's funding for the skate park fencing. We're gonna pull that out, put it all in one project and kind of hit it all at once. The skate park fencing, the skate park lighting, the sidewalk lifting, the pathway lighting, certain trees that need to be removed. Off the top of my head, Crystal's with us tonight. Do you remember what else needs to go in that project?
So we mentioned everything at the skate park, any additional lighting that's going to be required, kind of an update to the walkway path that's up near the restrooms.
Oh yeah, getting rid of those palm trees in the center with the bench seating.
The shelter over by the top lot.
Oh, that's right.
Some other shade options we were looking at discussing. So it's kind of just a complete revitalization of the park as a whole instead of having these little piecemeal projects, putting them all together into one.
Sorry for putting you on the spot.
I obviously can't talk under pressure. I'm just kidding.
But restrooms too. We need to look at the restrooms and
Do we do the cameras?
Oh, I got an update for you on that, but let's finish this part first, right quick. The restrooms, the doors need to be done. Painting, the flooring, all of that is now, staff is recommending to put it all in one project and just knock it all out at once.
Along those lines, are those restrooms still being vandalized on a regular basis?
They won't be once those cameras are in.
Okay.
The vandalism spiked.
Yes.
I would say up until the beginning of the school year. We have a really good SRO, a school resource officer out there right now, Jeff Martin. Fantastic, works great with the school. We've had our community policing team out there regularly, and our park rangers are out there every day when school lets out. We saw a spike. That spike has now decreased dramatically with all the steps we put in, and we're hoping the flock cameras will alleviate any more issues.
Right, because I see talk about how the restrooms are subpar and everything, and I don't think the majority of people know that those things get trashed on a regular basis, or were getting trashed on a regular basis. It's only so much you can do if the students over there are
I would say we had about a 2 to 3 month period, and we're going into last year, but about 2 to 3 month period where we spent about $30,000 just on vandalism. That comes out of other places. That has to, we have to take money out of our, lighting projects, our fencing projects when that happens on a regular basis.
We recently, the latest vandalism was an entire portable potty was stolen.
Yes. Yes. Likely a contractor. Contractors use porta potties. It was with the tire tracks that we saw. We know it was a dually truck, and so.
Well, it makes a nice Christmas gift.
It's just amazing when you know that there's a porta potty that's supposed to be there and it's not there.
Yeah.
What was that setback?
It was a rental, so we had to pay for the cost of the porta potty.
Right, but what is that? What kind of money?
I don't know. That's in Municipal Services Department now.
I actually have an answer. It was about $2,500.
How much?
$2,500.
$2,500. There you go. Yeah. So, Commissioner, Commissioner Parker, back to your question on the flock cameras. There is an update in your maintenance report that was on consent calendar, but just briefly for anybody else who's watching. Construction has started on that project. Torrey Pines Park has most of the cameras in. The pan, tilt, zoom cameras are back ordered. Those will be installed as soon as they're in stock. And then for California Oaks, the infrastructure portion has been completed. The rest of the trenching should be done this week, early next week, and then flock themselves will come in the next 1 to 2 weeks to start installation of the cameras. And then training happens probably in February. So I think all said and done, we should be live in February sometime, assuming the back-ordered items come in.
Going back to the vandalism, did it really start to increase once there was staff over there because there was offices over there and the pool had people there, working, and, the pool's been kind of down for years and years, and for a long time, there's nobody from the city there on a 9-to-5 basis anyhow. So I'm just thinking that if we get the pool or some version of that up and get staff that might alleviate some of that going forward anyhow.
It'll alleviate some of it. Cal Oaks has always been one of our most vandalized parks. We have 2 or 3 that just seem more proximity to schools, after school gathering places, lots of weekend activity. So it's always been one of our higher vandalized parks. Definitely hit a spike of exponential portions.
Is this happening around parks around the other middle schools in town, or?
I wouldn't say the increase
Right.
is occurring.
Because you get Sykes Park right across from Thompson over there, and I don't know what the other parks are, but
Sykes Park has a little bit of vandalism. A lot of, they use their keys to dig into those new monuments that we put
Right.
out there. The other parks, Mapleton is a highly vandalized park. Torrey Pines, to a certain extent, has a middle school right next to it. So you have a lot of traffic before and after school. So
is that a middle school or is that?
that's a middle school.
Okay.
Yeah, and Copper Canyon is actually one of our higher vandalized parks also. A lot of that has to do with the parking lot goes downhill. It's kind of spread out parking down there. A lot of kids with dirt bikes.
Whole different subject.
Yes.
Well, if commission doesn't have recommendations or to council, is there something new or different that you might want to have the council focus on? Something maybe in the master plan key strategies? Don't forget the trails master plan too. There's things that we can move forward with that.
Could I go back and look at the Veterans Memorial there? It's unfunded, but it's to be determined in the CIP.
So the current status designation is to be determined, tier 1, 2, or 3 by council.
Oh, okay.
That's what's to be determined, but it's in the capital improvement plan.
Because a lot of that was volunteer funds and
Yes.
that, but
Yes.
I know there was a rush to get the World War II one done, and then the Korea and the Vietnam. Not many people clamoring for the Civil War one at this point, at least not any of the survivors. So, but still, if we're going to do the park.
Well, remember, that was done, and I think you were alluding to this at the beginning, that was done through a foundation.
Right.
That foundation no longer exists. So we were kind of anticipating fundraising for that in full, and that is not an option any longer.
Is that something that could be scaled back from the original
Yes.
hopes and?
Just, it's more length
Right.
of time to construct than anything.
Right, okay. All right, thanks.
So, Leah, a couple questions on the youth center, phase 2. Does that require the acquisition of land, or is it second story to the?
No, phase 2 for the youth center, the turf area, that comes out, and the plan, the concept, the high 30,000-foot level concept plan is a gymnasium with 4 or 5 special rooms for recreation programs and staff offices.
Okay. On the skate park, I'll preface this by saying this may be an unpopular view, but we're saying there's a dawn to dusk curfew, or the hours of the parks are dawn to dusk. Yet by lighting the skate park, are we creating an environment?
Nope. It's good. It will have staff nearby. Rangers will be patrolling. I believe it will address that one trend of recreating in expanded hours.
Okay.
And I may have missed it, but are you just replacing the fencing? So you're going to put up the same fencing around the skate park, or there's gonna
Different design.
different design?
Yes, it'll be an open concept design.
So we're taking, you and I had talked whenever last year, and so the plan at that point was no fencing, right? Is it still that?
No, it was always to remove the existing fencing
Right.
and put in a type of fencing, but there will be elements of where it's open.
Right.
There are
'cause
certain
right now
areas that
there's only
need to
one
be
opening.
fenced
Okay,
for protection and safety.
okay.
On some of the sports park things like Cal Oaks, and are there thought about shade structures as we talked about climate? Because I end up going to a lot of softball games, and up in Elsinore, their park that they have there has beautiful shade structures because it gets very warm. Temecula Birdsall Park, last time I was there, didn't have any shade structures, and it's 108 degrees down there. And I was thinking, boy, well, Temecula usually is on top of that. Maybe they are now, but it was
The commissioners, all of you, are touching on all the trends that we talked about. Shade is definitely one of the ones that is trending to ensure that there is plenty of, we live in an environment and a chaparral ecosystem. It's very, very hot during the day, and the shade is necessary if you're going to recreate in the hottest part of the day. And shade at Cal Oaks Sports Park was a discussion that Crystal, the Parks Maintenance Supervisor Josh Havens, and I had in terms of adding some elements of shade throughout the park.
So Leah, on the pool, Cal Oaks pool, is council being provided with options? This was what 10 million will get you?
Mm-hmm. There are 3 options before council.
Okay, have we seen those at all?
That was kind of a direction given from council to us to give back to them. There was a separate kind of ad hoc committee that relayed that information to them. So the city manager's office was on the ad hoc committee, and they funneled the different information to council directly.
Okay.
Could we get a look at those? I mean, not tonight, but...
Will it be too late because they're meeting on the 26th of February?
Yeah, no, I want to be clear about this one. So we were working on a conceptual plan for the pool.
Okay.
We had RJM, as you know, consultants come in and they did the community engagement. We started the design of the pool. We have a sketch of the pool. Once we started getting into the dollar figures of that is when it basically got put up on the shelf because we cannot afford it right now. So we don't have a full plan. We have some cost estimates based on experience to construct what we'd like to build. But there is not, the next step is basically to get the specifications. That's where you're saying we need this amount of concrete. We need, the restrooms are going to go over here. The catering center is going to go there. And so we don't have that right now. That's going to cost us money to put together.
What are the 3 options that are, I guess, before council are going to be?
Don't know. I'm going to let you talk about that because I'm not sure.
They're very high-level sketches, different entry points for the pool, different concept designs, where to put lockers, where to put showers. Very, very high level. It's not anything formal. I wouldn't want those drafts to get out and say, and the public say, oh, this is what it's going to be. They're very, very preliminary. No one has decided on one or the other. They're just different options of the amenities and the facilities. Again, like an entrance up near the tot lot or an entrance off the basketball courts. And ideas of how much it would cost to flip certain things one way or the other. So they're very, very high level pencil drawings.
I know.
But there's 3 of those.
In my discussions a couple of years ago with the previous city manager, we were talking 3 to 5 million, and all of a sudden it was 8 million. Now today I'm hearing 10 to 20 million. So
always been 10 to 20 million since we shelved the project.
But I think when the original survey was done and everything, it was kind of a much lower figure than we're hearing now. Of course, everything's more expensive now.
That shows you construction cost increases, and it also shows you when COVID occurred, the federal government pumped a lot of money into city projects.
Right.
And a lot of cities throughout Southern California went the pool route and drove up the cost exponentially.
Okay.
Is there a plan for splash pads and that type of thing being put
it's
before council?
It is, where is it?
It's halfway down.
Yep, there it is. Alderwood Splash Pad, 22046.
Okay, but as part of the Cal Oaks project?
Oh, I apologize.
Sorry, I didn't
in
make
one of
myself
the in one of the concept designs, you could put like a splash pad off to the side. So there's options that you could add or add or remove depending on cost and desire and things like that.
There's a Tier 3 Alderwood Park splash pad on there, I see. So it's
Correct.
And the
Hey,
firefighter park thing is, the frogs are gone, right?
They're gone.
Long gone.
Turtles are
Us,
gone.
us putting potable water right into the storm drain was not a good design.
Yeah.
Yes.
Those
Nor
were
a
rough and
legal, nor a legal one nowadays.
Those were rough and tumble days in Murrieta.
Alderwood would be our best location for a splash pad. Obviously, it's a Tier 3, but it's a Tier 3 because some funding likely exists. Right now, we have some pickleball courts that are going to be starting construction up there. So we're going to finish that project and see what remaining funds we have.
There we go, pickleball courts. Is that a project that'll take longer?
Should be done by spring.
Yeah, not long.
Okay, anything else?
Well, if you have recommendations that we may relay to council, otherwise I invite commission to attend the February 26th Council Goals Workshop. You never know, they may ask for your opinion, bring you up.
I've got nothing, anybody?
Yeah, I attended that last year. It's quite a party. No, I'm good.
Okay. Yeah, sorry.
Next thing on the, item 2 is Parks and Recreation Commission agenda forecast.
All right, this is the last item on the agenda this evening, and the report aims to facilitate a productive discussion regarding the future topics for the Parks and Recreation Commission. Are there any modifications, additions, or deletions that the commission would like to propose?
We don't have a hard copy of that, do we? So let me get to it. Where did you find it?
Yep, click on that. And then documents. And then view document.
Dang, you're good.
Oh, wait.
Got it? No?
March is our reorganization for the board. There are no new commissioners, so no new swearing-ins, but the board will be requested to elect another chair and vice chair.
There you go.
Okay. Next meeting.
Next meeting in March, yes.
These have been great, Leah.
I'm
I
glad
mean, yeah, I think
you're receiving.
giving everybody a roadmap. Yeah.
We updated it a little bit, so anything that says annual or biannual, that's the month that that item will take place. So every month, every March, annually, we do the board reorganization. Every, let's say, November will be the annual ranger update. Every March will be the update on homeless. So every time you see an annual or biannual, that's the month that that item will be presented to the commission, either once or twice a year.
Okay.
I did have a question. I do. Next month, Parks Maintenance Supervisor Josh Havens will be providing the annual Parks Maintenance update. Are there any specific questions the board would like to present to Mr. Havens so he can prepare in advance his report to you? do you have questions on vandalism or graffiti or anything like that?
And rangers report up through parks maintenance?
No, rangers report through the recreation side. Park maintenance reports to municipal services.
Okay.
Now.
I think when it comes to vandalism, I'd just like some way to communicate to the public how much of that happens or has been happening and the cost of the city, because these are Murrieta kids out there doing it. It's not all of them, I'm sure, but it's the same. I don't know if it's the same ones doing wheelies on their e-bikes down Washington or whatever, but
I haven't
just
seen
make parents.
You've seen that happen?
Parents, oh yeah. Parents, once in a while. Parents need to be more possibly aware that this is happening, and I don't know how you get the word out on that, other than the 50,000 people watching us right now. But there may be a way to just public education about the costs to the city and the taxpayers of what's happening. Just to throw that out there.
Maybe it'd be a good topic for the More Murrieta newsletter.
That might be a good idea.
Yeah, you could put in there the dollar figure and say, hey, last year the city spent $30,000 on vandalism at Kellogg Sports Park.
The city's new public information officer just started, so we can recommend that to her to see if there's something to communicate to the public and let them know that the
cost of vandalism in our parks.
When Josh comes in and speaks to us, he has more responsibility than just parks maintenance, correct?
All common area. So
all common areas.
So any common area maintenance that for the city, not roads per se or facilities, but common areas such as parks, open space, streetscape, trails, and slopes.
Okay. Wow.
But what is the date of our next meeting? I know this is a special meeting, but is it
March 5th.
March 6th? Okay. Make sure I'm in town.
He will provide a general overview, so he'll provide what he thinks you might be interested in. So if you don't have specific questions this evening, that's fine.
Okay.
But
well, and if we come up with something, we can funnel them through to you.
Just let me know.
Okay.
And then the other question I had was, would the commission be interested in any field trips to see the new tot lots that were installed, or the pickleball courts under construction, or the trying to think anything else, that new lighting at the tennis courts, things like that?
I would certainly welcome that.
Okay.
Yeah. However we would organize it, and yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I'd be happy to go
Is there
see that.
anything in particular you would like to see? I can talk about this subject for a very long time. I think, I don't think you would want to be driving around with me for 5 or 6 hours.
I think the tot lots, with the robust growth of pickleball,
I can certainly pick a couple of the, maybe like North Star Park with that new tot lot. It has a zip line for the city. The rocket ship tot lot is nearby. We can hit some of those.
My grandkids love the rocket ship, by the way, and it's not close.
Maybe just set some dates, and we could, those of us who can be there will.
I'll have Roseanne do like a doodle request and see what your availability might be. It would be during the day, probably 2 hours, probably 15 minutes, like a prep talk, and a 2-hour trip.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd like that.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay.
Leah, just a question out of curiosity. How much usage is the RC car track getting over at the...
My kiddo and I use it all the time, and when we go there, we run into a couple people. There's not hundreds of people using it at any one time, but we use it all the time. And Yeah, sometimes we're alone, sometimes there's 5 people there, but it gets regular use.
Was there an organization that was involved at some point?
There was, and sadly, their leader that headed that up passed away, and no one has kind of slotted in to take that spot.
Okay. Because they were planning on doing some events there.
Yes,
Yeah.
and they did. They put on, I think, 2 or 3 RC tournaments.
Is it something that the city, like you need one more thing, but that the city could pick up on?
Certainly.
Just a thought, you know, if you could get.
It didn't seem, the tournament itself didn't seem that hard to put on. It's staff perhaps not knowing the intricacies of the type of model cars themselves and the needs of that. For example, when my kiddo and I go out with our RC cars, we have 2 batteries each. The batteries last 15 minutes. So we're there at most half hour because we have 2 each, and then we're gone. So it's those types of advanced preparation or knowledge we'd have to become familiar with. The needs of what power sources they would need to have to recharge the batteries and how much and what area they would need to do mechanic repairs on the car, because they do crash, they do break, things like that. So
Is there a hobby shop here in town that caters
there
to that
is,
crowd?
yes.
Maybe-
We're there all the time.
Well, I mean, but if somebody there, you know, you get some 20-year-old who just is really into that kind of stuff, they might have kind of that knowledge. It's something to think about, see if somebody there might have an interest. It'd be good for their business too, potentially.
100%.
Jacob may be interested in a consulting job.
A lot of the time, we just play like kind of smash 'em up derby. So we just kind of we're not even going on the course. We're just kind of driving all over the place.
Okay.
It's like Whitewood Road. No.
Okay. Anything else, Leah?
No, I don't have any other questions. Those were the 2 that I had to ask you this evening.
Been a good meeting. Thank you very much for
very
putting it
welcome.
together for us.
Like I said, there was a theme tonight.
There definitely was a theme. A lot of work. Do we have any commission member announcements? This is an opportunity for commissioners to provide miscellaneous reports and announcements. Nothing? Okay, then. With no further business, this meeting is now adjourned at 7:43. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank you very much.